Hello, everybody. My name is Cody Gould, and today I'm going to be talking about when sales become unethical. So, first, I think we need to start by defining what unethical is. According to dictionary.com, the definition of unethical is anything lacking moral principles, unwilling to adhere to proper rules of conduct. Volume alone in marketing is never unethical, although it might be annoying. And what I mean by this is everybody's met that salesperson who claims to be the best salesperson in the world, who brags about themselves, shows off their awards, brags about past sales, and everybody thinks that that's annoying, but it isn't something that can be considered unethical. Um, the first sign of a salesperson or somebody who's trying to market something becoming unethical is when they start exaggerating. What I mean by exaggerating is if you tell somebody, if a salesperson were to explain to someone that they were the highest rated and most trusted salesperson in the state of Florida per se, but there's nothing to back that up, and that's just a claim that they're making themselves. That's not just volume. That is exaggerating. That's saying something that's not true in order to mislead a customer into doing business with you. That's basically where unethical behavior starts. According to Alan Weiss, who's an entrepreneur and author that I researched, the line is seriously crossed when we engage in fraud, deceit, and subterfuge. Fraud, of course, is unethical. You can't claim to be a certified salesperson if you're not. That's an example of fraud. Deceit is an example, would be exaggerating. You're lying to somebody. You're telling them things that aren't true in order to gain their trust. To further elaborate on fraud, deceit, and subterfuge, one example of all three of these things would be inventing clients, so to speak. Having friends, family, or even yourself act as a client to impress potential clients is unethical. You can't use false testimonies of your friends or family that have never actually experienced you as a salesperson, and they'd also be biased because they're trying to help you out. Um, that's just going to lead a customer in the wrong way, and it's not actual material data that they can see or they can value. Alan Weiss described a situation where a man had two different office phones that represented two different companies. So basically, what he would do is he would sit at his desk and he would have one office at one location, but he would have two phones. And a customer would call phone number one, and he would answer the phone in one voice as one company. And then he would then transfer that customer to a different phone number, which was the phone number of the phone sitting beside him, answer that second phone in a second voice as a second company and take their business. What he was basically doing is leading these customers to believe that one business vouches for the other, when in reality it's the same business to the same person, and he's just being unethical about it. It also has, unethical marketing also has a lot to do with linguistics and semantics. It is one thing to tell someone that you can do something, even if you're unsure of yourself. It's not a promise that you're entitled to keep. Showing confidence in yourself and your abilities is not unethical. However, it's a completely different thing to tell someone that you've done something if you haven't. You can't tell somebody that you can fix their car's motor when you've never done it before. If you have confidence that you can fix it, you need to tell them you never fixed one, but you're confident that you can. However, it would be unethical for the same mechanic to tell a customer that they have fixed hundreds of motors when in reality they haven't touched one in their life. Also want to talk about misleading advertising. Misleading advertising is another example of unethical marketing. Not only is deploying misleading advertisements unethical, it's also illegal. The Federal Trade Commission, or the FTC, regulates truth in advertising. This mandates that businesses make accurate statements in their advertisement campaigns and, when possible, back their claims with scientific evidence. I don't know if anybody watches Shark Tank, but every now and then on Shark Tank, a company will come in with some different facial cream or some different exercise thing or wristband or something of that nature, and they'll make claims that aren't backed up by scientific evidence. And every single time, if you watch the show, you'll know what I'm talking about. The sharks get furious. They don't appreciate when people come in making claims that that aren't backed up by scientific evidence. They think they're being fraudulent to the consumer, and that's exactly what they're doing. It's unethical. It's also illegal. Exaggeration is a common technique used by companies to downplay bad sides of their product and highlight the desirable ones. The ethical line is where the claims start to be unprovable. For example, tobacco companies in the past used to advertise their products as healthy, and we're here in the 21st century. We all obviously know that tobacco is not healthy in any means. It's not just an exaggeration; it's a lie, and it's something that can be countered by scientific research. Black hat link building. This is just a little bit that I read on Forbes.com. There are ethical ways to spread the name of your brand. Paying an online blogger to write reviews or to review your product is completely legal, completely ethical. There's nothing wrong with it. However, it is unethical to spam links in comment sections on websites, Facebook, Instagram. We've all seen it. New startups will spam links to their website in order to get viewers and increase traffic to their website. It's unethical. It's annoying. It doesn't make you look good in the public eye. So it's just best to stray away from that. So it all comes down to how do we ensure that we are ethical? We got to present full and clear information. Customers need all the correct information when purchasing. The customer needs to be able to trust the sales rep and believe they're receiving accurate and reliable information. If the sales rep doesn't know an answer to a question or simply doesn't have enough information on the subject, he or she should be honest and just say so. Building trust with the customer will get you a lot further than lying will. Give honest advice. In other words, don't try to push your product or service to someone that does not logically need it. For example, if somebody worked at like Radio Shack or Best Buy and there's a new expensive micro USB charger out that was like 15 feet long and it was awesome, and this elderly man were to come in with an iPhone and need a charger, it would be unethical for that salesperson to sell that man a micro USB charger because it doesn't fit the iPhone charger if you didn't know. Um, Knowing that he needed an iPhone charger would be completely unethical to sell him a charger that wouldn't even fit. While it may be difficult for any salesperson to lose a sale, it'll look good to a customer if they're honest and show integrity rather than force a product down someone's throat when they know they don't really need it. And then here are my references. Thank you for listening.